So here is your stretching video, finally. I've gone through, I'm gonna try and organize everything so it's a top to body stretch, and I'll label everything so that you can sort of search between the stretches that you want. And I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so the first stretches we're gonna start off with today are neck stretches. So there's a few ways we can do this. You can start off just with very simply rolling your neck. So first drop your ear to one side, hold, drop your ear to the other side, and then you can progress that to rolling around your neck. And you can take that further into rolling around the back of your neck. But when you're going around the back, you want to make sure that you're very careful. If there's any tension here, you don't just want to throw your head back. So be very, very, very gentle. So rolling around. Where's my headband? I lost my headband. Rolling around. Okay. Then to increase this stretch again, once these muscles are nice and loose, you want to actually use your arms to stretch it out further. So stretching out your sternocleidomastoid, mastoid, and your trapezius up here, any neck muscles in here, you have to be very, very careful with the stretch because it pulls a lot, okay? So left hand, you're going to pull it, and I'll show you from the back in a moment, this way, and drop your head to the right side. Now this actually pulls quite a lot, so you have to be very gentle and work into it gradually, dropping your head forward slightly to increase the stretch. Okay, so from the back, here, and other side. Okay, so same again, pulling the right arm to the left, dropping your head down and forwards very slowly because it pulls a lot. And you might feel some discomfort in here, so once again, go very, very slowly, completely at your own pace. So those are your neck stretches, okay? Going forward from there, going to your shoulders, rolling your shoulders forwards, okay? And it's important to not just randomly roll your shoulders. It's a very good stretch for mobility in your shoulders. So when you're doing this, you're squeezing between your shoulder blades at the back, stretching out your chest, pulling between your shoulder blades at the back now, and crunching through the front of your pectoral muscle. So you're actually trying to warm up some muscles when you're doing this, okay? Another progression, arms out to the sides, same idea, activating chest and back muscles, which are opposing muscle groups, in order to get some blood flow and some movement into the joints, okay? So you want to do all of these stretches. Ideally, you want to hold them for 15 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds, at least 3 times. You want to hold stretches for 30 seconds, but if 30 seconds is a lot, hold 15 seconds times 10 seconds times 3, 15 seconds times 3, working up to 30 seconds and 3 sets of that. So I think I mentioned in the document that it takes about half an hour to really stretch properly, but just working your way up, obviously any type of lubrication of your joints is going to make some progress, okay? So going from here, making sure that you're feeling a stretch in your pectoral muscles and in your upper back muscles, okay? Okay, so here's some chest and back stretches. So to stretch your back and traps, lats are here, traps, anything that gets tied up here, hands together, push forwards, drop your shoulders. So we often do this, especially when we're tight or sore. So drop your shoulders consciously and push forwards here, then drop your head and push through. You should feel it here and around here as well, depending on how tight you are or how sore you are. So pushing through, shoulders down, head drop, and extend. Really, really great stretch for up here, okay? Here's your upper back stretch from the side. So pushing forward, shoulders down, reaching through here. So you can see how it would pull all of these muscles. If you've been carrying things, it's a really, really, really great stretch. Another one is your chest stretch. So find a doorway and then just lean forwards, pulling your arms back. And this will open up your chest. Once this becomes easy, making sure always to keep your shoulders down instead of doing like high shoulders. So we've got to be very conscious of this. So shoulders down and back, pulling through your chest. Once that's easy, you can actually take your hands behind your back and pull this way. So it's harder because now we have to bring our hands all the way together and then opening up here. Sometimes I feel like I can get a deeper stretch through here because I'm actually pushing against something. So it depends on what type of flexibility you have, muscle soreness you have. This can be great. I also like this one if obviously I don't have a doorway. So now I want to show you some arm stretches. Generally I use this stretch if my biceps are sore. So taking your hand, pulling your fingers back, and then making sure that you keep your elbows rotated externally. Okay, so this will pull all through here. It hits your biceps a little bit. It's kind of all through here, but if I've done a bicep curl, I will do this stretch and it feels better. So again, just making sure that we're pushing our elbows out towards that way to get our good stretch. Another stretch I do is for the brachioradialis. So take your hand, pull it towards you, and again rotate outwards, and that'll stretch this muscle. Again, if you've been carrying things and your forearms get sore, that's this stretch. So hand towards your body, pull, and then rotate outwards to stretch right here. Hand to body, rotate outwards. And feel this muscle stretch. All right, from there, we're gonna stretch the sides of our body, obliques. These are things, obviously anytime we reach for something, we're using these muscles so they could feel kind of stiff. I'm gonna do a couple of progressions of this. So the first one, super easy, we tend to do just a straightforward bend. Okay? Now when you're doing this, it's important to remember, don't lean forwards. This takes away our stretch here. We wanna make sure we're leaning slightly backwards to focus this stretch. And you can increase the stretch by going down this way. So same idea, going up and over, reaching in line with your body. I don't want any forward movement, but by stretching back, you're actually bringing everything into alignment. We have a tendency to cave forwards. Here, and it stretches through here. Again, holding for 10, 15, 30 seconds, whatever you're most comfortable with, working up to 30 seconds 3 times. Okay, the other variation of this stretch is more like a yoga pose, which I love. So getting down just into 90 and 90 in our lovely, let's call it lotus. Up, back, inside. So now I'm stretching this side. And it's a lovely stretch, a little bit more advanced because you're using some more core stabilization, but really, really, really good. Okay, so opposite side. Up, back, this way. So again, not leaning forwards because that's not stretching. So you want over to the side and back to really hit that spot. And stabilizing and exhaling. All right, moving on. We're gonna do a forward bend or forward fold, also a yoga pose, but really, really, really good and progressive. So leaning forward, you want to make sure that you're starting with your hands just on your thighs, but focusing on straightening out your back. So you just go down inching at a time. I'm elongating through my pelvis, so I'm pushing back here. So back is straight, legs are straight, down to your knees, and you're just going to keep inching down your legs until you find however far you can go. From there to your shins, keeping back flat. Okay, we don't want any super rounding. So pushing back through the pelvis, legs are straight. Going down. Ideally, we want to be able to grab our big toe and or hands on the ground. But again, start here, go down to your knees, go down to your shins, and just work your way down. In each position, you're focusing on this push, this lengthening through here, and just staying there, breathing for as long as you like, and keeping it comfortable. Okay, another stretch, it's for your inner thighs. This is obviously, again, depending on your ability and your comfort level, spreading your feet as wide as you feel is necessary and then doing the exact same thing, going down. And working your way down to this position. So now we're moving the stretch a little bit from just the back of our legs, moving it a little bit inside. And obviously, the wider you go, the more it's going to be on the inside of your legs. So we want to do this kind of stretch, and I will show you an easier progression, okay? Also, keeping your toes pointing forwards. We don't want them pointing out. That decreases your stretch, okay? But then making it a little more specific, keeping my toes forward and reaching towards my toes, but my chest is doing the leading. I'm not bending here, focusing on chest towards my knee. I'm pulling this way. Then stay here for as long as you feel comfortable. And then walking over to the other side, toes forwards, chest to knee. And then back up to center. The next progression of this I want to do is a sitting progression. And they call it a clamshell or whatever. Grabbing your ankles, elbows on your knees, pulling your heels towards your bum as close as you can. I'm not fantastic at this stretch. Pushing your knees towards the ground, and once again bringing your chest down. So if this is difficult and you can only get here, that's fine. Stay here, lower your chest to your feet as much as you can, and just stay here. Exhale. Just breathe out. And each time you breathe out, try and lower it a little bit more. And then as you practice, as you do it daily or weekly or what, ideally daily, you will be able to increase all of the stretches. And if you have someone who can push down gently here, that will help you to increase the stretch as well. So we are going to do a hamstring stretch, and there are several variations of this. The most common one is a hurdler stretch. So if I take my left leg forwards, I'm taking my right foot to my right knee, toe pointing up, because this again decreases our stretch. We want to have a nice long line in our hamstring in the back of our leg. Okay, I want to reach with my opposite hand, and just as before, chest to knee, down, breathe. All right, I'm repeating the same thing on the other side. Right leg straight, foot to knee, toes up, reaching with your opposite hand, chest to knee, exhaling as you feel the stretch in the back of your leg, and pulling your chest down. This is as far as you can get. Again, just trying to keep your back flat as opposed to rounding here through your neck. This is great. Just stay here for as long as you can. The importance is of using the opposite hand, okay? And just move it along further as you need to. So this is as far as you can go for now. That's fine. Stay here. Exhale. Let your muscles loosen and lengthen, and then slowly lower as necessary. Okay. Okay, this is a variation of a hamstring stretch. If you're having difficulty on the floor, this is a slightly easier progression and a great place to start. Just find an elevated surface and put your heel up. Okay, again, toes up. Same idea, just you don't have to be on the ground to do it. Okay, so reaching down, chest to knee, exhaling, and spending your time here. So it's the exact same stretch, except elevated. What's really great about using this position is that you can actually change the position of your feet. So if I now turn my toe that way and I lean forward, I'm stretching the inside of my leg here. And then if I turn it this way, I'm stretching my iliotibial band, which is great as well. And if you just want to do this, rocking your foot back and forth, this also increases hip flexibility and stretches the muscles on either side of the leg. So just rocking back and forth, and again, any forward motion will lengthen these spots. Here and here. Okay? So you can go here, straight, to the back, inside, and outside. And you can experiment with those. The other one I need to show you is a quadricep stretch. So stabilize if you need to. And grab your ankle. Now, important to turn your toe down, because again, this decreases the stretch or focuses it more on your tibialis anterior, which is the front of your leg. Okay, so if you want to stretch the front of your leg, you can do that. But right now we're going to focus on this muscle right here, your quadricep. So grab your ankle, toe down, knees together, Then push your hip forward so you look like a bow and arrow. So you're arching your back and pulling through here. So now I'm feeling it, as opposed to doing this, which really doesn't do a whole lot of anything. Pulling, hip goes forwards, and I can stretch my quads. And switching, see if I can do it without holding on. And then pulling, there we go. So whatever way you need to find your balance, you can hold your belly button, extend your arm, making sure this is going forwards. Your body's a little bit like a bow and arrow, and you're feeling it in the front of your leg. Okay, gluteal stretches, really awesome. We've been sitting or your butts are tight for whatever reason. There's two I want to show you. First of all, right leg is straight, toes up, left knee is bent, right arm. Okay, so right leg is straight, taking my right arm, putting my right elbow against my left knee, turning into it, and looking to my left. So I'm feeling the stretch in here, and depending on how tight you are in here, okay? And again, holding and breathing through it. Switching sides, left leg straight, right knee bent, left arm, left elbow to right knee, turning, and staying there as long as necessary. Sorry, this is more focused on the lower back. Your glute stretch is the one I'm going to show you now. Okay, there are two ways to do this. Well, actually three. The first one is on the ground, the second one is standing again, and the third one is also on the ground. So I'll show you those two first, and then we'll move back up. Okay, so taking my left leg, I'm going to put it across my right knee, threading my hands through this loop, and pulling backwards. So I can feel the stretch here because I'm pulling my knee towards my chest. And switching. Feeling the stretch over here. Another more advanced way to do this, again yoga, is, I think this is called the grasshopper. Okay, so taking this leg here, straightening out the other leg behind you, okay, and then working your way down to the ground. So starting in a high position, moving down and moving down. So as you can see, I'm not fabulous at the stretch because this is a very kind of a 45-degree angle. The closer this leg is to 90 degrees means you're more flexible, which I'm clearly not. Okay, and then the other side. So bending this leg, extending the other leg out behind you, starting in a high position and moving your way down and down. Okay, here is a variation of your glute and hip stretch. So find a wall, okay? In other words, you're doing the same thing, crossing here and then leaning back and sitting into your hips. You push this down to increase pressure, and again, we're stretching right here. But at least this way you don't have to get on the ground and curl up like a butterfly, right? So holding onto the wall, stabilize, hip, ankle on your knee, pushing down on the other knee, and through here. So calf stretches, that's here. Just find any surface, wall, chair, whatever. Put your toe against it and push forwards here. This will stretch out in here. And the higher you put your toe on the wall, the more of a stretch you'll get. So if lower down to the ground is what you need, no problem because your calves are tight. Or if you need more, put your toe up higher and push against the wall. So using my back like I'm pushing forwards to increase this stretch. I can push forwards. Excellent. Okay, another version of a calf stretch if you either want more pressure or just a different variation. Coming down here, up and cross. So I'm only on one leg. The leg that I am stretching is the one on the ground. So the other one is just adding weight. I'm up on my toes. So it's similar to the wall stretch in that this angle is what I'm stretching. So if I want to increase it, now I've increased the angle and I'm pulling more here. Okay? Like this. Now I'm stretching through here. And if I push back with my hands, I increase this stretch as well. Sometimes after volleyball, I prefer this stretch. It's a little bit harder, a little bit of a different angle, so I would use that stretch sometimes. So like I talked about before, the tibialis anterior, so the front, this part of your leg here. So if you sit down here, feet crossed, toes together, knees slightly wide, it's like a V, just reaching back, here, will stretch the front of your leg. You may or may not need this stretch, but it's fun to try. And the goal of this, which I can't do, but we'll try it, would be to go all the way back. Let's see if I can try it. Probably not. And then all the way down, but this is kind of hard. So working at your own pace, but if for whatever reason maybe you have shin splints from walking, the front of your leg is tight or whatever, that's how you would stretch it, just here and going back. Okay, increasing the angle, you can do that as well. Be careful, this is a little bit, adds a little bit of pressure on your knees, so you may or may not need this one. Okay? So there are your stretches. I hope you enjoyed them. Remember, hold them. You want a minimum of 30 seconds. So if you're holding it for 10 seconds, give yourself a break in between each 10 and work your way up to 30 seconds. From there, working your way up to 30 seconds times 3. So you get a nice long stretch. Ideally, you want to stretch every day. But if that's a lot, start out slow and never be discouraged, because stretching is an ongoing process and we all need to be doing it every day in order to make progress. So I hope you enjoy it.